Oh my god. I wasn't even there for a second. It's my turn to disappear. Erica was disappearing last time, and now it's my turn. So, welcome to a very special, sensual, more bassy adventure on the Buttermilk Biscuit. My brain's like barely going. But I really did miss this, and I honestly, yeah, like Wednesday came and I was like, oh, I wish I could be doing it today. Yeah, so we're getting all the gravy out of this little cat. Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I just wanted to make sure that it was more comfortable, and I did a little reading into it, tried to find the frequencies that would bother with like tinnitus, or that were more sensitive to higher frequencies. So I tried to reduce it a little bit. So thank you for bringing that to my attention. Hopefully it'll kind of help in general in the future. For anybody else that comes in, so it's good to know. I'm going to go ahead and do my little spiel here. So, hi folks, and welcome to the Buttermilk Biscuit. I am Ashelade, and I am here to hang out, mediate, and panic because you moved even slightly on this 2-hour train ride through the twilight. Behind me is Erica and her powerful arms that I've given up fighting against. Here on the Buttermilk Biscuit, BBB, or Tabubba for short, all of my favorite goofballs, you, can struggle with my commands as I have not made them consistent in the way that they are used, and it makes it more confusing. Avatar list, yeah, there you go. It's got a space in it. Sorry. And help, I think a help command would honestly be pretty great to have in there. Claim seat is just the one word, and then avatar is just a command with a space, and you can put in a variable there. Or an argument, I should say. Yeah, so time for all of my favorite goofballs, you, so you can connect and create in a mostly harmless, low-key environment as a home away from home. Take this time aboard as a chance to write that novel you've been sitting on, color in that coloring book, empty that litter box, or just take a well-deserved moment for yourself. There is no pressure to be perfect. This is just an opportunity to find energy in the company of like minded cats, ducks, and monsters and to share in our progress. Uh, so, my theme for the day is quote unquote, what a mess. For this, my concept was to start from a place of chaos. This could be a wild mishmash of patterns or textures, a difficult to control brush or medium. That could be like a digital brush that's just kind of a wild, it's like you try to draw a line and it turns into just a weird zigzag pattern. Or engaging with some chaos that's being avoided. That could look like a lot of different things. For me, it is the growing pile of clothes that I have not folded because I got sick and they're just kind of laying around. But for me, I'm going to still put off the chaos because I'm still not feeling super great. I have a cold. I will be muting occasionally because I am coughing. I got cough drops and stuff. But yeah, it's just kind of engage with some chaos for a little while. I think that's a pretty fun thing to do. Yeah, I think actually my goal was to not talk when the Roomba came by. But yeah, I'll consider maybe bringing it down a little bit. Yeah, that could be great, Aubrey. And thank you. Yeah, the little maid's cute. And Tort is I was looking for cake. It's a little maid. She only pops up occasionally. It's kind of a random thing. Normally the Roomba just comes in and cleans, and then sometimes a little maid pops out of it just to show that the Roomba is not actually an automatic thing. It's actually being driven by a little maid. So Tort is just another word for cake, and oh, Bungo. Bungo kind of makes me nervous. Yeah, I really do love the maid. Adorable. Oh, maybe she's a princess too. I don't know. I haven't really figured out all the lore. So what I'm gonna do today is probably gonna focus in on. I started a piece a couple of days ago as I started to get sick. And it was just like, I don't feel like doing anything that's actually like helpful or like has a specific goal. I just feel like making art for myself. And my favorite thing to do when that's the case is either to make little weirdos or draw a girl. So I've been drawing Erica in a piece that I'm pretty happy with. I'm almost done. I'll share it probably at the end here. But yeah, it's almost done. I've been really happy with it. As always, I've learned a lot, and it's nice to do something without any pressure of like, this needs to be for a purpose, this needs to be a thumbnail, this needs to be something. It's just something I did for myself. And it's a lot of fun, and it was a good chance to like, yeah, and hey Tempest, sorry. I start going on these spiels, and I kind of just lose track of myself. I didn't even realize it was already noon. I had everything set up, and I was like, oh. But yeah, it's nice, even when you're like engaged in like, I want to make something good, I want to improve this thing, to like take time. That's just something completely unrelated to take time for yourself. Yeah, art for the sake of art. I think that's hugely important. Just like anything in life, you get into this focus of like this very goal-driven society of like, I need to do this for the sake of improvement or progress. And sometimes it's just nice to say, yeah, I do that plenty. Actually, I probably do it too much. So here's something just for me, and it's like not an unhealthy thing to do. It's just, it's not like I'm eating like an entire cake by myself. It is, just kind of expressing myself for my own purposes. Really fun. Especially when you're feeling sick and you're like, I don't want to please anybody but me. That kind of selfish mentality, which I've been indulging in. So that's what I'm going to work on. I'm probably not going to talk. I know, I'm probably not like crazy high key or anything most streams, but I'm probably going to be a little bit more subdued today just to make sure my voice doesn't get, uh, my throat doesn't get too wrecked. Um, Depending on how it goes, I might type a little bit more. Yeah, honestly, I mean, there are a lot of different interpretations for the concept of what a mess. You know, it could be that you have backlogs of like important things, or it could just be like, I've forgotten in all of this chaos what it means to take real, true time for myself. It doesn't have to be a learning opportunity, it doesn't have to be progress. It can be, I've kind of lost track of what I enjoy. And so here's just me diving in and not caring. Um, I think that's really great to do. Of course, anything that is progress is not like, I'm not going to dissuade you from that, but um, I'm sure that's something that all of us can kind of feel or fall into. It's a very easy trap. Yeah, true time for you. That's not right. Baffling. So I might actually, I might type a little bit more today. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Norble. Norble, by far the smallest. I think it's the mouth. Norble just looks so disappointed. It's funny looking at him, like looking at Norble from this far away, because it looks so small. Hey, Rally. Sorry, I hadn't responded to your message just yet. Uh, yeah, thank you. I'm I'm actually like in the next step of being sick, which is like a lot more coughing stuff, but it's just progressing. Um, like I was saying earlier, I'm probably gonna mute a little bit more often today, and I might type depending on how my throat feels. I've got cough drops and stuff, but I love, I love doing this so much, and I really, really missed it on Wednesday. Um, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. It's fun to hang out with y'all so much. But thanks for checking. Yeah. Outside of that, I mean, it's really beautiful outside. The temperature is nice, and I get to be a cat. I know this is probably in reference to Core Keeper because I've seen y'all on Steam playing it, but I like that idea of that sentence out of context. Like y'all are just exploring some sort of cave in real life. Sounds like the beginnings of a cult story. The funny thing is that they laid out those torches a week ago, but we've been seeing them for years before. A grandmother in a cabin on the mountain? Why, she passed away 5 years ago. Evil cookies with even eviler sugar. Yeah, I think a couple of y'all are at work, but kind of fun projects you got going on. Hey, Ozzy. Just finished a game? Playing a game or you're working on it? Oh, no. Another sentence that out of context sounds great. My blorbo got stepped on. Not in a good way. Oh, fun. Yeah, removing dead network tentacles from the computer dungeon sounds way cooler than, like, swapped out Ethernet cables. I think we know what the good way is. They are... I'll just go ahead and type them in here. I have another one that's supposed to come in, but I've been sick, so I haven't been at the computer too much. Maybe just getting stepped on in the way of, like, I'm hoisting you up out of this through this trapdoor or something. That's like the good way of teamwork and spirit. Otherwise, yes. Yeah, I don't think there's a positive way. Yeah, getting stepped on ants, it's like, please stomp on me. You have to stomp on me to save me. I didn't know that Dolly was Ace. That's pretty cool. It's Avatar without the avatar change. Exclamation point Avatar. It reminds me yet again that I need to put a bot message that just comes in every once in a while as a reminder. Oh. Yeah, unfortunately the poop does not come out of the poopy. Oh, but it's right on his nose. Oh my god. Oh, he's smearing himself with it. I don't know, that might be worse. Like, the head bobs back and forth and there's just poop on the face. Also, I cannot stop reading. Also, he rode a spectral hippo that is deluded into thinking it's a unicorn. This does make me wonder about the height of the different avatars and if it's going to be weird to have the text pop up in their faces. Bungo has a lot of fears. Mate, I was trying to talk. You're very cute, but... I'm trying to say Bungo has a lot of fears. Bungo looks stressed out. Yeah, you are right, though. I was thinking of the word bingo. Big thumbs up. Bungo! Incredibly. Like, I hear the phrase, I'm Mick-losing it when I'm Bungo. Norbold has this energy between being very cute and, like, being super judgmental. Oh yeah, yeah, I could see that. He also, there's very strong, like, idiocracy, welcome to Costco, I love you energy going in there. Yeah, just a little guy. Yeah, I should probably keep that in mind in the future. That, like, must be this short to ride. Like, everything has to be below a certain height so the text doesn't get broken. I'm not good enough at scripting to figure out how to, like, adjust it depending on avatar height yet. And also, I don't know if I care to. I think I might rather just keep little guys. Thank you, conductor, for that very important message. Okay, I'll be right back in about 5 minutes. Sorry about that. 1 sec. And back. Sorry about that. I had to eat lunch. My poor, sick, frail body. How did an 8-ball come out of there? When I made Erica's expressions, I was just like, I just want her to look kind of natural. Kind of just glancing around. I used myself as reference. But my absolute favorite thing is when she actually times up with stuff that's going on. Like a duck walking by and she looks at it kind of suspiciously. Yeah, Erica looks at cheeks, but Norvald looks at you. Straight to your soul. So I do want to give a shout out because he was in the living room just now, but we got a new cat. And he is so sweet and so cute, and he is not getting along with the other cats yet, which is such a bummer. It's going to be a slow process. He is so soft. I'm so thankful. He's like a luxury cat. Like he's not super hairy. Yeah, I'm judging my sinuses. But when I first got him home, he went into a side room to kind of like have a chance to acclimate. And I went in there, and I was like, "Hey, buddy." And I'm used to other cats, like few cats, they'll hide in a corner and they'll be like, "I don't know." You know, it's just, you know, there's just a variety of cat acts. But he was hiding in the corner, and I was like, "Hey, buddy." And then he just immediately walked up and snuggled and like plopped over so I could rub his belly. He was like super just immediately affectionate. So sweet. Or he was bowing down because he thought I was there to destroy his life. I was like, well, I have to give up now before anything really bad happens. I'll have to share some pictures of him. Really cute. There we go. I just sent one in general on Discord. I think that's exactly something Bitey would say. Yep, very accurate. Another thing that Bitey would say. Yeah. I was like, "Oh, what's going on in the VTuber app?" And then I started clicking around. I was like, "Wait a minute. I wonder if this has a visual effect." So I just stopped messing with it. That is a test while not live kind of thing. Yeah, reality is folding and supervisors are everywhere. Oh, I think I just talked while muted. Supervisors, Rally was talking about her supervisors surrounding her at work, and then I love Discworld, but I don't remember her supervisors in the context of Discworld. What's the mental reference there? For which book? Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I do remember them. The only one of those no, I've read all three of those. It's just been a while. I read a lot of Discworld when I was late teens, early 20s. Yeah, I really do love her squeak too. I really want to go back through and read the Witches series. It's been a long time since I did it, but I always loved it. Yeah, the watch books are great. I think those are the ones that I've probably reread the most. Guards is such a good starting point. And Cherry Little Bottom. Long Bottom. Um, the whole like dwarf feminism kind of thing, and like, I don't know, it really rattled my. I mean, a lot of Discworld stuff, a lot of Pratchett stuff, kind of rattled my brain growing up. I was like, oh, Oh, what a very different way of thinking about it compared to what I'm used to. So smart. Sorry, I muted there for a little bit. I popped a cough drop. Yeah, who'd have thunk it that reading Terry Pratchett books, like, he was like so ridiculously understanding and sweet towards so many different people. Even that even like trans people, which I don't think he was like immediately familiar. He was just really glad that it connected with them. Um, so many good little characters, good character stories. Guy. Yeah, the absolute gall of them trying to do that, and then like his daughter coming along, just being like, "Hey, just so you know, that's gross and it's bullshit." Yeah. I feel fine only referencing one of them. Ugh. Thank you, conductor. I don't think I checked in a little bit. What's everybody working on? Not to interrupt whatever you're doing. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I think I'm done with my piece. I think I'll just have to sit on it for a little bit and see if I actually feel like it's done. I'll still share it at the end of the stream, but now I'm just kind of looking at poses and just trying to learn a little bit about how those show people's personality in different ways. Well, instead of walking to the barber, you could skip and whistle, maybe skip, snap, and whistle. That's an alternate option. You're free, Rally. Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that maybe driving isn't the answer. Oh yeah, I think Aubrey's recommendation's probably pretty good. Oh shit, Rally. That's real rebellion right there. No, I'll give a nice day. Hey, thanks for coming by. Stay safe. Schlorp is such a good word. Such a good sound effect. Guess that bird was indeed upside down. Magic of bird. Oh, Rally, I didn't realize you were a battle angel. Is that what you call yourself at locals? Battle Angel of Sonic Council? Yeah, that is true, Rosie. Hey, take care. Oh yeah, for sure. You were already an angel that launches bombs and Power Bomberman. Such an angelic thing to do. So I don't know Yokohama Daiichi. Um, but the timing of that with what Aubrey said makes me just correlate the two is like some horrific uh Kuro type crap. Oh yeah? What are they about? Do they have any brain splits? Pure vibes? Pure brain splitting vibes? Or like what kind of vibes? How many schlorps are there in an episode? Oh, that's interesting. It sounds like it could be vaguely depressing, but that also sounds like a kind of a low key thing that I could see having some good vibes to it. A complicated topic to tackle. I will have to copy and paste and take a look at it. Let's see. But how many? What's its SPE rate? Yeah, I mean, even with like a sadder like basis for that kind of thing, I think it's really important to consider finding joy in hardship or in kind of like more difficult moments. And so I like a lot of power to them for putting it in such a difficult world state. I try to think about that a lot, especially again, I feel like I talk about this a lot, but it is pretty pertinent. Being in the U.S. and specifically Texas uh, during this residency and everything, I'm like, I get so focused on things that I'm frustrated or scared of, and it's really important to remember to find the bright spots and find the comfort and the joy, even in spite of that, of whatever hardships can come. Um, which is again why I like the biscuit. Like it's just a chill moment in spite of kind of like a chaotic world for me. And Erica did not like that. Yeah, that's great. I like that. I've got it looked up. The main character is very cute. I'll take a look. Sounds like it might be the right kind of thing to read while I'm... Because right after this, I'm going to go lie back down. I'll check it out. Oh, thank you. Oh, oh, here I go. Hooray! Yeah, that reminds me, Riley, of something that we learned in DBT, or like dialectical behavioral therapy, which is an offshoot of CBT, which was like the concept of having this little self-soothe kit that you carry with you, especially if you know you're going to be in a stressful situation. Just something that you know is like a very calming, centering thing for you. So it could be like something that has a really strong smell, or like like a little hand game that you could play, or something that just very much relaxes you. Um, that kind of thing, like whether it's something that you read before bed, or anything like that, some sort of centering thing can be so helpful to have. Uh, Thanks, Roomba. Perfect timing. Bye, Roomba. But yeah, having something to kind of center yourself, because I mean, like the theme for the day was what a mess. Um, but like, I was thinking about how we only have control over so many different things in our lives, and so sometimes kind of learning how to embrace the chaos, or understand that you can only do so much against it, or with it, and just kind of going with the flow to a degree, is very helpful. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you could do that. I have not personally played Revengeance. I've just watched different parts of it, like people playing it. So ridiculous. Yeah, thank you for recommending it. I'm gonna take a look at it after this. Something I kind of do to center myself is I really love manatees, and my mom had given me a manatee necklace years ago, and anytime, even when I'm getting like really like dressed to the nines or something, I'll wear that necklace as a way to like kind of center myself. It's just like, okay, no matter what, I got a little buddy with me. As you know, maybe I'm like dressed up and wearing like a short skirt, like a low cut top or something, but I still got my manatee. I'm still me underneath all this. I mean, that's a great way to be able to be. I have a history of like being very stiff and like pushing against things instead of just kind of being willing to go with the flow. It's caused a lot of trouble over the years, and so it'll come back out in a lot of different ways, and I have to kind of find ways to reset myself back to just kind of like easing off a little bit. You literally can't control everything. I can't control everybody. I can't control what happens, like what's going on in other people's heads, but I can control the way that I react to it, or uh, the way that I choose to exist, really. I can show kindness to other people. Um, I can do things that bring me joy or bring other people joy that I'm close to, but I can't please everybody. I can't do, a lot of this stuff, and that's totally okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have eggs. Apparently, eggs does not start until, based on Capcom's uh, date choices, eggs doesn't start until June, like late June. So I'll be ready by then, and I'll have that little manatee with me. Yeah, I remember you talking about that. That it also kind of broke you out of your shell. Like you were kind of forced to learn how to talk to people, or just how to like very strongly engage with people. That's great. Yeah, I mean, what I tend to do is that sort of like mild inconvenience, I just immediately go into fight or flight and start thrashing, start throwing my little paws out every direction. Yeah, what you said, which was very cool, not even remotely awkward to say. Yeah, that's been my case for a very long time, and it's even like getting out of that is not necessarily my normal state of being nowadays. I have to take time to like recenter a little bit and like try to work out of that. Every new problem is not something that requires like an intense response. Um, but if you grow into that pattern, you know, especially if it's been doing it for decades, also, I've been doing it. I was doing it for decades. That it's kind of like a matter of retraining. I still definitely slip up. It's exhausting though. It's a very exhausting way to live, and it leads to a lot of internal struggles. Okay, Rally. I know, yeah, you're talking about all this stuff, you bragging about documents and fees and letters, mail, hospital trips, chores and stuff. We get it. You went to Japan. You got to enjoy documents, fees, letters, mail, hospital trips, chores. I'm here bragging about all that. You know how much everyone loves having to deal with complicated documents in a language they can hardly read. Rally, I think you're in good company here with that. But again, you're bragging about cooking. Yeah, typical Rally. Yeah, I bet the culture shock combined with all the things that you had to get done that were just like a difficult maze to get through, been very difficult. A very difficult. Hello, Bitey. Please leave my tail alone. Oh, but I need that tail. That's my excuse for not animating the tail yet. Out of fear. Out of a fear for danger. I'm gonna raise the output on my voice just a little bit. What about now? Okay, I think that might be closer. Time to cook. Yeah, it is a little song. It's so fun making like the little ducks and animals do music stuff. Yeah, it sounds incredibly difficult to deal with paperwork that has any level of kanji. I can read hiragana and katakana, but like, you know, those complicated documents filled to the brim with kanji, I'm sure. Do I think tailed characters not creatures, consider their tails separate body parts or literally the same as their spine? You're talking about like furry style characters that are very human-esque. I guess it would probably depend on what creature they're derived from. Because usually I think like some animals, their tail is it seems less like a conscious decision, and then some creatures like what monkeys or certain types of monkeys, I think they can actually like use it as another grip. But when I think of a cat, I don't think of like controlled movement. So in those cases, I would say it's just kind of like, yeah, that's a hard question. My immediate go-to is like, I don't feel like I know much about biology in terms of how creatures manage or process how their tails work. Um, that's kind of an interesting question. I would think depending on what the almost said mythology, but what the in story lore is, I think it kind of go either way. Because I've seen characters that have like a devil tail and it's just completely doing its own thing, and then characters that use a devil tail as like actually another grip, like a monkey. Like if we're talking about Dragon Ball Z, then Saiyans there, they definitely control their tail, and it seems like a completely separate appendage to their spine. Oh, Nightcrawler? Yeah. Yeah. Thought about Nightcrawler in a while. So cool. I'm like so out of the Marvel interest zone now. It's a tale as old as time. Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of things that cats can do. Like, I feel like they understand a lot more language than they let on, but they just choose not to give a shit at all, ever. Yeah, you can thank Rally for just a constant. I get besieged with puns from Rally. I feel like I have like a military camp, and Rally's just constantly tossing puns at me. A catapult. So for me, if I was speaking of myself, Ashley, um, if I was given a tail in real life, I would like to not have control over it because I think it would be way more funny. And as annoying as I'm sure it could get sometimes, the idea of it just being like a complete hassle and like adding some spontaneity to different situations sounds like a blast to me. And I say that wholeheartedly, even with some of my social anxiety. I love a good mix it up. Yeah, I think yeah, I mean, using a tail as a storytelling device in that way is an interesting angle to take. Um, Social anxiety nightmare or like a good party trick? Oh, I'm so nervous. Oops, I just slapped a small child with my tail. Sorry, ma'am, I don't control it. Oh, true. Uh, yeah. There's a character trait that I like to see sometimes, and it's to where um, a character that has a tail or some sort of like controlled extremity, like maybe ears or something. Their face is completely flat, and they don't let on to what they actually think. But like the tail or the extra limb or whatever is like so obvious about it. Yeah, I guess that'd be fine. I don't really care. And like the tail's like swishing like crazy. So cute. Oh yeah. Put some little like light sticks on your tail. An extra rave hand. But Riley, consider HRT butt with a tail. Just intense chaos. Like honestly, I think yeah, I struggle with in a lot of cases letting people know how I feel in the first place. It's something I really tried to put more work into, like openly expressing to people like, "Oh, I really appreciate you," or "I'm really glad to be around you." Oh no, it auto banned. I didn't see. Well, I still see it, but I think it didn't put it in top chat. It put it in live chat. I I don't. Yeah, it's so picky. But yeah, the idea of like having something to where like I don't have a choice might actually be kind of nice. Yeah, I think it's a live chat versus top chat thing. I think um, it just assumes that your chat isn't just a bunch of degenerates. Hormone replacement tail. Does it sound like an implant? Which just makes it sound like a butt plug. Yeah, top chat really cuts stuff out. It really. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Roomba. Sorry, I always have to keep in mind that she's at work. Seeing this little Norbolt say those things like Dick Cheney, Dick Van Dyke, Dick Nixon all in a row really pleases me. Oh, that's interesting, Rally. Mine is apparently really difficult to read. I make a lot of effort now to show more expression. Definitely not. Seeing Norbold say Dick Button is something very special. Now, is it special in a good way or special in a weird way? And the answer is both. As we come up on the end, in the wake of multiple PPs and butt plug devil tails and sort of plushie that I'm nervous about. If anybody has anything they've been working on during the stream or anything they've worked on recently, feel free to post it in the what you're working on Discord channel. And go ahead and start getting stuff together. So we will show and tell. Gotcha. I kind of figured that was the case and not actually just like an actual thing. An actual thing. Oh, that is something that looks very ridiculous. What the hell is this thing? It reminds me of like a Furby crossed with those, what, Schlotzky's? Them? The sandwich place? They had those weird rat things in their commercials back in like the 2000s. I feel so hard right now that I have to put it in here twice. Or I mean, type it once and say it out loud. I see that. Like I said, I didn't expect the squeak, but I sure did appreciate it. I was muted so you didn't hear me laugh, but oh my god. What a face. Tweaker. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the little show and tell here. Real quick. Oh my god. Yeah, I genuinely hope that they get that figured out so that they can achieve that, Ozzy. So cute. Good group of friends. Got your little stinker in there too. Penguin. What a cute penguin too. Okay, so gonna do a little show and tell real quick. Aubrey set up netting, or is in the process of setting up netting at their house, apartment. Why is this so big? Transform, fit to screen. There we go. Which nice. Very cool. Is how many cats are you hoping to trap with that netting? Looks like you could catch like 3 or 4 little suckers in there. Next up is the piece of art I've been working on for the last couple days. Mostly did a lot of it yesterday and the day before. Just kind of did some touch-ups today. Got Erica. Just a good chance to like experiment and kind of just be like, okay, what do I want to put on here? Like, not really worried about perception, I guess. It was fun trying to figure out like how would Erica pose, and I looked at a bunch of the way that people pose. And I was like, she's not like a girly girl in the sense that she would do like a big cutesy kind of pose. She just seemed like, okay, I'm here. What do you want? So I had a lot of fun drawing her. I had to fix her shoes today because I realized they weren't the same as I've drawn her every other time. So, thanks. Yeah, she's got a little bit more of like a pear shape. Got thicker hips and her legs are thicker. Yeah, very grounded. She's ready to fight, I feel. Like, she's kind of like a stoner. I've been thinking about like what kind of music she would listen to, and Downward is Heavenward. I was like, oh, this is a saying, right? Like, this is something that people say, and I remembered it's just the name of a album that I like. So after I wrote it, I was like, oh, okay, this isn't like a thing that people ever reference, like, unless you know the band Hum. So I was like, yeah, that's cool. I wanted to try some lighting stuff. Yeah, pink-eyed character is a stoner. Yeah. I mean, I get the feeling that she probably leans into like shoegaze kind of stuff. Maybe that's just because I don't listen to a lot of ska, but I think of like low-key people listening to a lot of down-tempo kind of stuff. Either way, she's been a lot of fun to draw, and the dots on her dress are too big compared to how I normally do them. Might take a look at that, but pretty happy with how it came out. Had a lot of fun, did a lot of like lighting things and rendering at the end to try to bring it together more. But yeah. Yeah, so at this point, I feel like it's just a signature, but I use the same colors scheme as what's on the train. I'm pretty simple in the fact that I absolutely love twilight coloring, and so I just started with it, and then I just kind of kept going. Yeah, Loveless, stuff like Loveless, just like kind of like noisier. I would say that she's probably just into rock. Like, I like a lot of like down-tempo electronic stuff or kind of offbeat stuff, but I feel like she would be more of like a low-key kind of like shoegaze, low-key rock kind of girl. With her powerful arms, as I say every stream. Yeah, these are some of my favorite colors. I've always been kind of obsessed with Twilight. Obviously, I chose that as like the scenery for the train because I just think it's a gorgeous time of day and it's so short, and I think there's something really beautiful about how short it is. That being able to kind of stay in it for longer is something I really love. What does Ashelade listen to? Probably just punk rock. think cats all just have a lot of spite in their hearts. I totally get that, Ozzy. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to work on. I tried to challenge myself in some certain ways, like framing and um, composition. I think the scene has kind of effects on it that I think change the way the picture looks a little bit. But I really enjoyed working on it. And like I said, I just did it for myself. It's not something I could really use for a thumbnail or anything. No, I just don't feel like drawing Erica. Also, in case you didn't see last week's or Monday's stream, this was very important. These are the seat fillers that I made. They're very intelligent. And then, just in case it feels like things are too comfortable, I can also just light the world on fire. So, wanted to share that just in case you weren't here on Monday. Yeah, I think you're right, Ozzy. That would be a lot of fun. It's kind of baffling to me to think, like, so I started drawing in January of last year, and at that point I was doing, like, music commissions for people, and now to think, like, oh, it'd be kind of interesting to, like, what art could ever be something that would, like, do something with? I don't know. Yeah, I thought about having seat fillers if no one's sitting in a seat, and then they get kicked out when someone jumps in that seat. Mostly just for aesthetic reasons, just so that it looks a little bit more filled out. But it's also a chance for me to make weird little characters that, like, maybe they're very unhappy when they get kicked out of a seat and they just have to, like, stand in the corner or, like, get under the seats. The hair guy's crotch is on Bitey's head. I actually didn't even look. I never tested it with people actually sitting in the seats, so it could be horrifying. But yeah, so thanks for everybody for coming. I had a really good time. I'm gonna go take a shower and lie down. But God, I really did miss. Yeah, I kind of like them being little creeps. Like they're like paid seat fillers, so they're just waiting for their chance to come back out and take the seat, and maybe actually get fed something. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming. I really needed this. Every time that I do the train, it feels like something I get to do and not something that I ever have to do. And for that, I'm super thankful, and a big part of that is because of y'all. So I really appreciate y'all coming by. So take care. Thank you, Ozzy. And I'll see y'all again if you're around for Saturday evening's stream. Barring this getting any worse, but hopefully this is just the worst of it. So y'all take care. Awesome. Yeah, I'm smiling too. I had such a good time doing this. Love having y'all here. Take care, y'all.